was an accident. About an hour ago, a small jet went down inside New York City. The president was on board.
President of what?
Gas, check. Food, check. Water, check. Weapons, check. Everything, check. Network, check. Multiple places to go, check. Chemical suits, check. You name it.
All right, folks, welcome back to PrepperNow. Thanks so much for being here. Going to talk to you today about a little tinge of mental illness and some of the things that are going on and could be going on 1 week from today, as I believe the left will be suffering potential mental breakdown, but maybe not. Let's play it out as if Orange Man Bad wins, okay? And what that will look like, first and foremost. So, there's a guy that was out on social media, and he was basically detailing a survival guide for people on the left if Orange Man Bad decides to bring out roving gangs of posses to go out and basically round these people up and throw them into camps. Now, everybody knows that is absolutely absurd and that it's not going to happen. Anybody with any kind of full grasp of reality. You know, I don't like the way the left politically thinks. I think there's a lot of problems. I think there's a lot of things that they do that harm people. I won't detail those here. If you've been around long enough on this channel, you can pretty much make a guess what I like and don't like. But the fact is that I don't want any harm to come to anyone. And people out there thinking that they're going to be rounded up on either side is really absurd. First of all, the logistics of that, the way it looks, as a guy that has looked and studied history, we're not talking, early 20th century Congo here in America, folks. Don't worry. King Leopold isn't going to be rounding you up. But the point is that these people do think this. There's a lot of them that actually have this kind of ideation that they will be. So this guy comes out and he's like, all right, don't talk about anything political because they're going to be looking for you. Don't go out and put it out there that you agree with this or you disagree with that. If you are on the leftist side of the political realm, don't do it. They're going to separate you and put you into nice summer camps where basketball will not be going on. So that's absurd. And if I may remember, as I was listening to this guy, I was like, you know what? If I remember correctly, not too long ago, there were actually some voices out there that were saying if you didn't take a certain intervention, you should be separated and put into camps, to the point where there was actually legislation that was potentially being drawn up. Go look at the great state of New York if you need a reference point. That wasn't our side of the realm. That was people over on the other side. Now, of course, it got shot down. It didn't happen because, everybody knows that first of all, the resistance that would happen with that, it's logistically not going to. It's like with weapons. Anybody thinking they're going to go door to door to take away your Second Amendment right I just don't think understands the way it would work. Now, would they do things to make it so it is absolutely, completely, and totally financially unviable for you to own that? Yeah, that's what they do. They just cut you off at the payment system. That's how you do that. I mean, that's why we don't want anything digital. But that's a whole other video for a whole other time, and we've covered those topics. Let's stay on point. Nobody's getting rounded up. Nobody's going to be put into camps or anything like that, and it's absurd to think so. And I'll be honest with you, if it did get to that, I would not be on board with any of it. And some of these people, as much as I disagree with them, I do believe in political freedom. I do believe that you have a right to believe in certain things, no matter how far to the left it goes. I mean, not everything, but you know what I mean. Like, if it's within reason and isn't really harming another person, that's when I kind of say, okay, we can't have that. But you get the point. And if not, I'm sure I'll get trashed in the comments by someone who comes up with some very obscure political scenario or something like that. But anyway. So what is it? What is it about all this that makes us, disagree with the left? First and foremost, everything has been politicized. We're talking about Jeff Bezos and him coming out with the Washington Post and saying, you know what, I'm not going to endorse anyone. Other papers are following suit because, Washington Post is one of the bigger ones. They're kind of the news of record. And, they said, we're not doing that anymore. Because if you read the temperature of the room, America's not really on board with over-politicization and very pro-leftist kind of things anymore, which I think is why everybody kind of reads the room that this has gone too far. People just aren't really into that kind of politics. It's too extreme. Watching some dude crush a volleyball and break a girl's face, all in the name of, equality, or whatever the heck they want to chalk it up to, that's not it. There's nothing like that. That's just wrong. And that's just one scenario. There's all kinds of other things you can go. I believe in states' rights. I think it's a good thing that our VW has been chucked out and sent back to the states. That's the way it was supposed to be in the first place. So anyway, I digress. This whole thing is like devolving. Like, the reason why people are not on board with what's going on politically is because things like, palm oil is up 15% in the last 2 years. Not a great, but a very stable and low-cost oil that at least half the world relies on has gone up by 15% in 2 years. I mean, that is a staple for many people. Other things, too. I mean, and people don't like being lied to when you're coming out and saying, oh, yeah, inflation's 3 to 5%. Horse crap. Go buy food, dude. There's no way. It is way more than 3 to 5%. In fact, add a zero. So, nobody's trying to get into office so they can round people up. Nobody's trying to get into office because they're trying to go for political retribution. The reason why this very well could be a big red wave is because people are tired of this crap, tired of being lied to, tired of being broke and unable to buy like the necessities and the basic stuff, tired of being lectured to over things that when you just kind of sit back, scratch your head and chew on it, you go, you know what, this is kind of mentally ill. I mean, that's what's happening with me. You know, I'm a pretty freedom open guy. If you want to do what you do, just leave me the hell out of it. I don't, whatever. As long as nobody's getting hurt. But that's the problem. Now people are getting hurt. And my wife had a good point yesterday. We were talking about all this. She said, you know what, it's the new neighbors. Because she's more of a centrist. And she said, you know, if you look at all this, nobody on either side really, it's like 7 out of 10 of everybody is into the new neighbors. Because they just kind of make everything more expensive. They take away a lot of opportunity for people, like young African Americans. They're the most that are hurt by the new neighbors coming over. They're the ones, because the unemployment and all that. So, I think you get the point. Nobody's going after anybody, and all that is potentially going to happen is all because the policies are terrible, the policies are harmful, and the policies are not agreed with the majority of the people. So if we truly are democracy, you'll just kind of let that happen. But here's the problem. We don't really know who's running the show right now in D.C. We don't. It certainly ain't Joe. And I don't even think it's Kamala. It's probably B.O. and his gang, but you get the point. We don't really know. I think that's a problem a lot of people have too. So, I don't know. We got 1 week, and I think you're going to see a lot of craziness happen. But do I see people getting rounded up? No. Now, do I see people freaking out over this and going violent and causing action by law enforcement? Absolutely. That's totally possible. And who knows what's going to happen if the scenario I really think is going to happen where it's close enough that they lawfare this sucker over the goal line for Team KH. Special K, as Poplar calls her. We'll see. All right, friends. Links in the description. Check me out. Stay prepped. We'll see you on the next one. God bless.